Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170. Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. And today we're responding to a question from a Thriver that says, how do you deal with working with people? How do you deal with working with people? How do you go to work every day hating every single person who works there?
Right.
Steve, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you have hated every single person that works in your office?
Yeah, it was like the day after I got fired from that
Oh, really?
place. Right. It was like the day. But you know what this made me think of is like, this is exactly why you need to do a group interview, and that you need to interview every week, and that you need to have people shadow, and you need to follow that system and have a polarizing environment. And then you can pick people that come to work for you that you like. And then you won't have to deal with going to work every day with people you hate.
I could say with our Thrivetime Show core team, I pretty much like all the team members. I've got a couple people that I have some issues with, and I've talked to them, and hopefully they figure it out before they get fired. But other than that, I like the vast majority of our team. And so I want to answer this person's questions. I want to give you moves. I want to give you moves, specific moves that you can use, and there are really 4 moves and a conclusion that you can use if you found yourself in a position where you do hate every single person that you work with, because I have also found myself in that position when I owned DJ Connection. I just hated everybody that worked there. Okay, so move number 1. Focus on developing a strong, very small circle of friends who are bound together by values and goals, not geographic proximity. You don't want to become friends with somebody just because they live near you, just because they sit near you at church, just because they are, but develop a very strong, very small circle of friends who are bound together by the same values and goals. Steve, why is it so important that you, if you're a top-level entrepreneur or want to be, that you surround yourself with top-level entrepreneurs?
Because people that are beneath you in their pursuit, or people that don't have the same vision and the same goals and the same drive that you have, like they will eventually win. Like, people will drag you down. They just will. So you've got to, the people say it's lonely at the top, Clay, because it is. So when you get to that level, you've got to constantly be developing and growing yourself. And you can't do that with people that, in my opinion, with people that work for you that are trying to learn from you. You're not going to learn from them.
So I would encourage you, if you find yourself struggling right now with trying to get friendship or affirmation from the people you work with, stop doing that and develop a strong, very small circle of friends who share your values. Move number 2. For everybody outside of your circle, I'd encourage you to focus on your goals and not people if you want to be happy. So again, if you're talking about people outside of your circle, I would encourage you to focus on your goals and not people if you want to be happy. You see, Albert Einstein once wrote, and this is a powerful, notable quote. He once said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. That's Albert Einstein, the Nobel Prize-winning theoretical physicist who introduced the concept of developing an atomic weapon to President Roosevelt. This is the reason that all Americans are really not speaking German or Japanese today. I mean, it is so important that you understand this. If you're talking about people at work, focus on goals and not people if you want to be happy. Because if you focus on making every single person happy, Steve, you can't even choose overhead music that makes everybody happy. No. You can't even choose a venue for your holiday party that makes everybody happy. Right. You can't do anything that makes every single person happy. Please preach to me the good news.
Yeah, you will be disappointed with people. And anybody that's lived for a couple of years in an adult life knows that you've probably disappointed some people, and people are disappointing. Humans are disappointing, and that's why Einstein says to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things, because if you tie it to people or things, you're constantly going to be disappointed. And it's a lot of the time, I think, Clay, the reason is because they don't have the same goals and the wants that you have.
Exactly.
So you're trying to drive them to do whatever, and they don't want to do that.
You want to become a multimillionaire, and they just are confident they're happy making $45,000 a year.
Yeah, so let them and tie yours to a goal, not to a person, because otherwise you will lose faith in humanity. You will. Yeah, quickly.
Now, move number 3. Embrace the concept that if you are righteous, you will be persecuted, and you will not get your reward until you get to heaven.
Yep.
As an example, Colin Powell, a retired 4-star general in the United States Army and the 65th United States Secretary of State, he once wrote, being a great leader means sometimes pissing people off. You're going to piss people off. Right. Thank you, Colin Powell. Notable quotable number 2, Aristotle. He says, there's only one way to avoid criticism. It's do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. So if you are somebody who's doing a very good job at work, you got to understand that you have to embrace the concept that if you are doing a really good job at work, you might get promoted, but you're not going to be liked. For sure, because you're holding people accountable, and people hate. Steve, the people that need accountability the most, almost by and large, hate accountability. Why is that?
Right, because everybody needs it and nobody wants it. I find very few people that just want to be held accountable constantly.
Want accountability.
But at the same time, I think that the right employee wants a goal and a vision and an expectation and some accountability, because they realize that, the right person, they realize they do need some accountability in order to be their best.
So if you're listening right now and you have found yourself dreading going to work and you're a manager or a leader, I encourage you, just to recap, embrace the concept that if you are righteous, you will be persecuted and you will not get your reward until you get to heaven. Now, if you said, well, geez, that seems pretty harsh, man. It seems like you're pretty intense about that. Well, if you Google search Matthew 5:10, and go ahead and I'll give you a second to pull it up, Matthew 5:10.
Or you can look on Steve Currington's left bicep.
Did you actually get the Bible verse printed on your arm? Is that right?
Yep, that's right there. Matthew 5:10. It's one of my faves, one of Clay's faves, and became one of my faves. So I wanted to be reminded of it. So
Matthew 5:10 says this. It says, blessed are those who are persecuted because of their righteousness. Basically, blessed are those who are persecuted for being right. You could read it another way. Blessed are those who are persecuted for being right and who are charged with holding people accountable. You could read it a different way. Blessed are those who are persecuted because you pissed people off, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. God's going to reward you, but you have to understand the planet Earth, people do not like it. They do not like it at all.
Nope.
So it is so important that you understand that. And move number 4. This is my favorite move, and I encourage you to take this move to heart. Learn to embrace the hate and to let it fuel you.
Yes.
Just like the emperor, he used to say to, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, kind of encouraging messages. He would say, Luke, let the hate flow through you. Luke. And you're like, that wasn't emperor kind of a bad guy? Yeah, but he had a good point. Let the hate flow through you. Strike him down. Join me and we can rule the galaxy. And you're like, well, calm down. You look kind of gross. Well, this is the thing about embracing the hate. Age 33, Jesus Christ was killed for trying to share God's love and message with humanity. What did he do? He tried to share God's love and message. Age 39, Martin Luther King Jr. was killed for daring to argue that people should be judged based upon the content of their character and not the color of their skin. Age 56, Abraham Lincoln was killed for what? Trying to end slavery. Age 70, Socrates was put to death for questioning God, if the gods were real, and it turns out they weren't. And so he was charged with talking bad against the multiple gods, failing to acknowledge the gods, and at age 77, Galileo was sentenced to death by imprisonment for heresy because he argued, the crazy guy, he argued, the heretic, he argued, what a horrible person, he argued that the sun does not move and that the earth moves around the sun. So they're like, well, we have to kill him. So if you're actually correct, just understand that people are going to attack you. So in conclusion, to me, work is showtime. It is so important. If you are asking yourself, how do I come to work and try to be fun, or how to be exciting, how to be motivated in an environment where I sincerely do not like the people I work with, just understand that work is showtime. That's what Dr. Zellner told me years ago, and I'd tell you again, work is showtime. Now, speaking of showtime, if you want to come out to the best in-person business workshop in the history of the planet Earth, all you got to do is go to Thrivetime Show and leave a review on iTunes. Just Google search Thrivetime Show and the word iTunes. Give us a review and subscribe, and you shall receive 2 free tickets valued at $99 a piece to our next in-person workshop. You never want to miss a Thrivetime Show workshop, and now the tickets are free just by leaving a review and subscribing on iTunes. My name is Clay Clark. I'm a business coach. That's Steve Currington. He's the mortgage man. Without any further ado, Steve, we always want to end with a boom. 3, 2, 1, boom!